legitimate talking about what you actually spoke about, you will get extra points on your quiz. Okay? 5 extra points on the quiz. The quiz is, I think, 15 points altogether. So what you need to get a 3 is 12 out of 15. So let's do the math here. If I do this and I get 5 extra points and I only need to get 12, what's the lowest score that I could get and still get a 3? Who said that? Nice. 7. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret here.
Don't do it.
I'll let you in a little secret. If you go home and you teach someone photosynthesis, are you going to get a 7 on the quiz? No. No. But if you did, you'd be fine. If you go home and you teach someone photosynthesis, you're probably going to get a 3 anyway. Okay? So go home, teach photosynthesis. It's going to be great. Parents are going to love it, or whoever you teach it to is going to love it because it's necessary for life on Earth. Then they'll sign it. You'll bring it back. You'll rock the quiz. And as Avery said, even if you don't rock the quiz, you're still going to be in great shape. Makes sense? Yeah.
When do we have to have this done?
So this will be due on quiz day, which is Tuesday. So if you want to write on there, Tuesday, that'd be October 19th. I know, we're halfway through October on Saturday, technically. Tomorrow's the 15th. There are 31 days in October. Okay, so everyone clear on what is expected of them for teaching photosynthesis?
Totally.
Okay, again, it is optional, but I'm highly encouraging you. The best way to know that you understand something is to teach it to someone else. Okay, because you have to be able to understand it and make other people understand it. Okay, yeah.
So what if I go to my friend's house this weekend? Can we teach their parents it as credit, or does it have to be a legal guardian?
No, yeah, you can teach their parent as long as you aren't tag teaming it and both doing it together, and if you're doing it with a friend and they do 90% of the explanation and you only do 10. That would be yeah. So they would need to do it and you would need to do it.
If you do it with a partner, then you only get half the points, so you only get 2.5.
Jake's just making up rules now. All right. Okay. So in order to practice for this, here's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna call some people up, and you're gonna teach photosynthesis.
Wait, do we have to do it? I know, she wants to be a teacher so bad, guys. She literally taught me more than my math teacher.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of come over and take a seat and have you guys teach. So I'm gonna call on somebody, and we're gonna go through the certain parts of photosynthesis.
Can they use our notes?
You can use your notes before you get up to the board. Yeah. So that's why I had you guys kind of study that right now.
And Olivia really wants to do this.
No, I do.
All right. So we're gonna split it into multiple responsibilities, everybody. So relax. You don't have to do the entire thing. Let's see. Brock, I want you to start. I want you to go up and write the reactants of photosynthesis. What is necessary in order to conduct photosynthesis? The reactants. Write them in the chemical form, the chemical equation. Start over up on the top left, underneath billions. See that word billions? Up top. Start a little bit below that and start writing the reactants of photosynthesis.
Yeah, rock.
All right, now Brock, can you explain to me what those reactants are? Because you've written CO2, O2, and H2O. Tell me what CO2 is.
CO2 is carbon dioxide.
Okay, carbon dioxide is necessary for plants in order to conduct photosynthesis. Absolutely. What's H2O, Brock?
Water.
Water. Yep. So they need carbon dioxide and they need water. Tell me what O2 is.
O2 is oxygen.
Do plants need oxygen in order to conduct
Oh, wait,
photosynthesis?
no.
That's all right. Fix it. They need one more thing, though, don't they, Brock?
Yes.
Okay.
Sunlight, but I don't know the chemical form for sunlight.
What's that?
I don't know the chemical form for sunlight.
You don't have to write the chemical form of sunlight. All you have to do is write sunlight.
Like today. What are you doing? I have been capable of.
Okay, Brock, and then underneath sunlight, what's a special pigment in plants that gets energized by that sunlight and allows the electrons to move? Gives plants a green shade right under sunlight.
Stop it.
Okay, chloroplasts contain this green pigment. What is it?
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right.
It's in the chloroplast.
I know. I
It
figured that out.
fills the chloroplast.
Oh, yeah.
I think it fills the chloroplast.
That's like a teacher.
And I have a feeling it's green.
I thought
Very
they meant the little
Nice.
discs.
Now I want you to draw the arrow from H2O over. Good. Bingo. All right. And then under that arrow, I want you to write the word yields. Nope, to the left.
Yeah.
Right underneath the arrow. The arrow means yields. So underneath the arrow, go to the left.
Underneath the air, below it.
Yep. Yields. Okay, that means it creates something. So when these things are present in plants, the sunlight hits the chlorophyll, it takes in carbon dioxide and H2O. It will yield something. Thank you. Very good, Brock. All right. Since Jacob Klesmith was so vocal during your teaching, there, I would like Jacob to go up there and tell me the products of photosynthesis. Everybody, first of all, give Brock a round of applause. Okay. Corbin, I want you to have a seat in your seat.
I'm incapable of doing that.
I know, you just gotta sit there.
I know.
All right, Jake.
Right, there's 2 products?
Yes.
No,
We might
21.
get to that.
God, dang it.
Okay, Jake, we're on the right side now. I want you to tell me the products.
1 second.
Oh, that's all right. Check your notes. Tell me the products of
I had
photosynthesis.
my notes with me. That was the difference.
I know, you can't take most of the boards though.
What? I think no. I just studied them.
You're under pressure here. You just,
Okay, you're only allowed one more trip back to your notes.
I did not ask. Nobody.
so these things will yield something. The plant is creating something. Think of it this way. What is the plant trying to create for
What was
itself?
my mistake?
Something.
So it's going to create what? Go ahead.
Something. Oh, you dare. Yes, he does.
Candy is full of.
C6, H12, O6 plus.
You switched them.
What?
All right,
Oh,
Jacob.
See,
Looks good so far. C6H12O6. What is that?
Sugar and oxygen.
Sugar is
Yeah.
C6H12O6. That is glucose, right? What does the plant do with that?
Eats it.
Eats it, right? And turns it into energy. All right, what's that last one over there?
Oxygen, that's what it throws away.
Oxygen. And oxygen should be O6 or O2?
I knew I did something wrong.
That's okay. Hey, pointing in the right direction. O2 is oxygen. The plant, essentially, yes, that is waste, a byproduct. Okay?
I will stop being vocal now.
Nice. Okay, so now we have the reactants and the products of photosynthesis. I love it. But we've talked in great detail about how this comes about. We've done the light reactions. So who feels confident that they can go up and show me the light reactions of photosynthesis?
Avery, he's
Avery Walters. Let's hear it from you.
Just wagging his arm.
Okay,
I am positive
he's a
I can
dog
tell
with their
because I
tail
did
once
that
they
before.
see the runners.
So this is what happens. The light comes down
From there.
just randomly. That's this.
Well, not randomly, from the sun, that big ball burning star that
What are
we
you
see
talking about, dude?
every day.
That kills humans if you look at it or if you go near.
It doesn't kill you, it just makes you like it splits.
All right, look at Avery. Okay, he says, look at the light hits the H2O and it's splitting. He said, all right, everybody pay attention.
Okay, I'm paying attention.
And since we got two of these hydrogens here, we split the hydrogen one time
No.
and another time. Yeah, I know.
H2. Yep.
And then we get this oxygen. And this oxygen is plant parts, so we don't care about plant parts. So then this is up here already. So this is the waste.
Already go. There we go. I love that stuff. Okay. Feel confident?
Yeah.
No.
Keep going. Okay. All right.
Okay, so then light hits these hydrogens.
Because they're mid.
Yeah. And it splits this one. We'll just use this one. And it changes it into a proton and an electron.
Wow, it's so
Nice. Proton and electron. Proton is a positively charged hydrogen ion, right? Just
Yeah.
lost an electron. Awesome.
And then this thing is so full up of energy
That I gotta go down the stairs.
that it gotta go down these stairs.
And that's because of the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll has been allowed it to energize. Nice. Carry on.
And if it were me, it'd fall down the stairs.
And then we take, and it goes step by step by step by step down these stairs. And every time it takes a step, it's losing energy.
Right.
Until it gets down to this little school bus right here.
Wow, it just looks
The school
so
bus.
realistic.
All right.
Random Miss Frizzle's school bus. And then it jumps off the school bus.
And then this comes down and gets on the school bus with it.
Yep.
And then,
They love each other.
look at this school bus, but look at
Oh my
this.
God.
I know.
It looks like Squidward.
And then it
How can you
takes
say that?
this bus over here to this big
Thing called the Corbin.
Circle.
Corbin.
called
No, it's called the Kevin cycle.
Calvin.
Come on, you gotta.
All right.
Like Kevin.
The Calvin cycle, or the dark reactions, or the light independent reactions. Okay.
and then
What is it dropping off over there, Avery? What's it dropping off of the Calvin cycle?
more energy.
What's that?
More energy.
Energy, and what else is that thing that it needs?
Food.
Yeah, but what molecule is it dropping off?
What?
You have it right there in front of you, Olivia.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen, it's dropping off hydrogen and energy in the form of what? ATP, right? ATP is energy and NADP.
And
Okay,
this bus
good.
is the ATP.
Okay, that's the ATP bus, or the NADP bus is dropping off energy and hydrogen. So that, okay, now,
And it goes back around again.
back around again. All right, Avery, I love it. Everybody give him a round of applause. Okay, now, can somebody tell me in what part of, I know this happens in what organelle? All of this is happening in what organelle? Yes,
This is all happening in the chloroplast.
chloroplast. Okay, now specifically in the chloroplast, we've talked about several different things, right? Where are the light reactions taking place? There's a couple options. You got thylakoids or stroma. What do you think, Bella? Thylakoids. So the light reaction is happening in the thylakoids. That bus is taking the finished, well, not the finished product, but the product to be made into the finished product, that'd be hydrogen and energy, outside of the thylakoids to the Calvin cycle. Where does the Calvin cycle take place? If it's not in the thylakoids, it's the other part of the chloroplast. Go ahead, Bella. You can check your notes. Stroma, okay? So Calvin cycle, stroma, Stroganoff, sure. This, the light reactions. Light is in the thylakoids. Very good. Okay. All of this, you have to imagine, is going on inside the chloroplast. There are multiple chloroplasts inside multiple billions of plant cells. So this is happening a lot, all simultaneously. Now, we've taken care of, Avery got us through water. He told us about that, the O2 being expelled. We talked about sunlight. That part has been taken care of. Where does CO2 come into play? And how does this eventually get made? Okay, that's where I need someone else to come up and show me. Somebody show me how CO2 comes into the equation, and therefore we can get that CO2 combined with the H to make glucose. Corbin,
No,
would you like to do
I
it?
was just going to say, how come we know all of this, but we barely know anything about like a lot of other things? Imagine how crazy people thought the guy was when he's like, I want to make something that makes me look at that onion over there. I want to see what's in that onion.
It's science. That's science.
Okay,
baby.
now stop procrastinating.
I need to write something up there.
Bella, you want to show us how it's done? How does the CO2 come into play?
No,
And how does that sugar eventually get made? All right.
I want to see what's inside that onion. Wait a minute. Perfect.
Okay. Now you got to explain what you just drew. Or what is happening there. You drew a line from CO2 to the Calvin cycle directly. Why did you do that? Oh, that's all right. Take a look at your notes.
Because it comes through the storage.
I forgot.
Corbin's going on deck. No,
Yeah.
but I didn't have a choice, and he's been very vocal. Shut up.
You were talking smack about the teacher.
I
So,
wasn't.
yeah, you were.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, we should have him on again.
All right, good, Belly. She wrote it up there. What is that? So what happens? How does the CO2 enter the equation? Through the leaves? That's good enough for me. There's small holes called stomata in the leaves that enter, the CO2 enters. It goes directly into the stroma of the chloroplast and joins that H. Okay, and that Calvin cycle, we did not go into great detail about the Calvin cycle. But you think of it like an assembly line. The C and the H and the O are all connected and they eventually make glucose as the final product. Okay? Anything we're missing up there? Okay, so you're gonna need to draw something like this. What you have in your notes, on the notes that I gave you, is gonna be a perfect representation of what you need to draw. Okay? Everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, if you know the equation, okay, this is the way I think about it. If you know the equation, you're fine, okay? You just mark it off as you go, right? That's what I did. Okay, we started with water. That's what I like to start with. So then you get the water like Avery did, split it into 2 hydrogen atoms and oxygen. Oxygen is immediately taken care of, right? That's an easy one. Cross off oxygen, we're done with that. We're crossing off water because we're almost done with that. The sunlight is what's affecting the water. So you take care of that, and then you're left with CO2 and glucose. And how does that get made? Glucose is made in the Calvin cycle in the stroma by attaching the hydrogen to the carbon in the carbon dioxide. Sorry. Simple, right, Danny?
Yeah.
Danny's smiling at me.
So
Like,
do we have to like write and like? Can we just draw it?
you can draw it, but I want
Right.
some explanation of what's happening at the steps. It does not have to be an extremely thorough explanation, but what is being represented. So like when the stairs are happening, tell me what's happening there. Okay? Yeah, on your quiz. Okay? It's pumping energy, it's losing energy, okay, into the thylakoid. Yeah? Everybody cool there?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, some of us look like we need a little bit of a brain break. But,
Yes.
okay,
Coffee.
yeah. Not, what's that? Coffee. Now you
Or
know
if
what's
you're
what.
ready and energized enough.
What's up, Nate?
That's my key. So on the quiz, you just have to draw it, right? You don't have to write that 3 paragraphs.
Nope, you don't have to write 3 paragraphs. You have to be able to explain kind of what's happening. You don't have to have in great detail. But like I said, with the steps, explain what's happening. Or the drawing from the like Bella did from the CO2. How does the CO2 enter this Kelvin cycle? You're gonna have to write enters through leaves.
Origin is protons.
Okay, yep.
Why did it take so long for us to draw this and explain this before? Because
Why did it?
yeah, for some reason now it goes by so much faster.
When you understand something, it kind of just clicks a little bit. It's a really complicated thing, actually.
It is.
It is.
My brain is
I'm just glad that you understand.
Wait until you take like AP biology. Then
I
you'll
will not
see.
be taking AP right now.
Or chemistry.
Again, no, I'm
But
not
you have to take this.
You don't have to, but if you'd like to, this is a good like jumping off point. So, thank you for that. Now let's talk about respiration, cellular respiration.
Oh, I know this.
Okay. Now, we talked about this yesterday. I had you talk about it with a partner. The equation for cellular respiration is very similar to photosynthesis. How so? How is it similar to photosynthesis? Yeah.
It's just it's the reactants and the byproducts, but in reverse.
In reverse, there we go. So if you know photosynthesis, people, you know cellular respiration. Okay? This time, I can't write it because I gotta have you write it because that's basically all we need to know. I want someone to tell me the reactants of, someone go up and write the reactants of cellular respiration.
Okay.
Olivia, go ahead. The reactants.
Is it okay though?
I don't know. C6H12O6
What am I doing?
What the heck?
Remember, carbohydrates are always in a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
Yeah,
You gotta switch to. I'm sorry. You gotta switch to H and
Okay, your
O.
student is helping you out, yeah.
Wait, is she the teacher now?
Since they're both sixes, you gotta make.
Then you're the student.
No, you gotta take the two sixes, you gotta make the middle one a 12.
the 6 made it like top.
Aiden,
Why are you still building a house? You're watching other people do stuff, not building a house. It's the same thing for us, obviously you don't know.
How am I not gonna have this?
All right, so,
Yeah,
oh, that's fine. You can. C6.
O2.
No, it's not.
Okay, so glucose is a carbohydrate, it's a sugar.
Or is it?
What is the ratio of carbon to hydrogen to oxygen in all sugars? They're all carbohydrates. It is 1 to 2 to 1. So if you have 6 carbon and 6 oxygen, how many hydrogens must you have? What do you got? 12, right? That'd be 1 to 2 to 1.
It's the same like that then?
Yep, so, but I want you, that H, what number should be next to the H? Nope. It's 1, the ratio is 1 to 2 to 1. So, yep, the ratio is always in carbon, oops, so right here, is always 1 to 2 to 1. So therefore, if there are 6 carbons,
In 70.
there are 6 oxygens, how many hydrogens does it have to be? So this is 6, this is 6. The ratio is, I went from 1 to 6, 1 to 6. How do I get from 1 to 6? I have to multiply by 6, multiply by 6. So what do I have to do with 2? Multiply by 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Yeah. There you go. There you go. So, see, this is the equation for glucose. You're great. This is the equation for glucose. C6H12O6. This is glucose or sugar. Okay? And then this is oxygen. These go into what part of the cell? What organelle do these go into? Wes. Mitochondria. All right. So into the mitochondria, they are going to yield what? So these things enter the mitochondria. Oops, I gotta erase my part.
I forgot.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. What is the purpose of the mitochondria? It wants to create what? Who wants to help me out here? I know Avery knows it. I know Olivia knows it. Danny, what is the mitochondria trying to create? Write it down. I want you to just tell me what its purpose is creating. You can write one thing down. What is it trying to create?
I think that Danny can have to pick, so he should pick me.
No.
What is it trying to make?
I'm gonna pick Avery. Come on.
To the right.
To
the right.
to the right,
Yep.
to the right.
By that arrow, what's it trying to create? Energy. You bet. In the form of what? What molecules create energy? Our energy.
Oh, does he know?
ATP. Yes. Very good.
Paper.
ATP. 32 of them. Yep. 32. Awesome. There you go. Everybody give. Oh, we forgot to give Olivia a round of applause. Olivia. I think we forgot. No. Okay. Now, in the process of this, though, there are byproducts, right? It creates some other things. What are those things? When we breathe, in respiration, I take in oxygen and I breathe out
Carbon dioxide.
CO2, right?
Carbon dioxide.
And also, think about this, if I do active things, I also sweat. That is the form of water, H2O. Okay? So, for for cellular respiration, you need to know the two things that go in, right here, two things that go in, and the three things that it puts out. That is energy, CO2, and H2O. Okay? So, did I lose this? All right.
You put it on the
Then,
box.
fermentation, we will talk more about tomorrow after Mrs. B leaves. Fermentation is just cellular respiration without what?
Oxygen.
Without oxygen. Very good. All right. Great class today. I appreciated being taught by you today. That was awesome. All right, everybody, have a great day.
We should do that once a week where the students